Good afternoon and welcome to New Forest Morphs. Today we've got Amy, Luca and Adam in the facility. It's been a couple of weeks, but it's lovely to have you here. And it is a very special week because Luca has turned 5 and he's just come back from his birthday holiday. And Daddy, if you'd like to focus in on Luca. And Luca, what did you enjoy about your birthday holiday?
Opening my presents.
And what presents did you get?
I got a robot and a dinosaur car and some figures and 2 dinosaurs and some stuff for the figures.
Fantastic. Oh, I love dinosaurs and I love robots because robots are in disguise, aren't they? And we did a robot impression earlier, which Luca was having a good laugh about.
And it has a gun on top.
And a gun on top. Have you got a dinosaur that looks like a T-Rex?
Yep.
We love T-Rexes, don't we?
It's not that big.
It's not that big. No. Did you know that we've got the snakes that I've got here for you? I've got you a little birthday present. Would you like to see your snake birthday present? Right, come with Paul and I'll just show you what we've got here. And we can, you can take this at the end of the evening, but I'll just show you what we've got here. This is a beautiful girl that I've bred. She's about 2.5 years of age. And her name is Pocoyo. And here she is. She is a het clown girl to help you with your breeding projects, and she's about 12 to 1300 grams, so I don't think she's far off breeding, Mummy. And if you get her feeding and get her eating, maybe by October you might be able to start breeding with her, because you've got a beautiful het clown boy who's got fire in, and he will be a good pair to this one to produce your first fire clown. So that's for you for later, and that's a late birthday present for Luca, and now he's 5. And maybe you can help Mummy look after her for me. Would you do that? Yeah. Thank you. Wonderful. Now, in return, talking of birthdays, I've had my birthday, and because we haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks, Amy, you've brought me some birthday presents. So I think we'll get the birthday presents out of the way first before we go into some snake candy. And what do you want to do first?
Snake candy.
I think we'll go for the spike, shall we? So, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, you brought your beautiful tarantulas to the facility, and one of them was called a Mexican redknee, and the other one was called a Brazilian black, which I like both of those. And this took me completely by surprise because Amy's very good at just surprising you, know, with different things. And I'm not going to pronounce the technical name, but I'm going to pronounce the name of this particular spider. It's called a Chaco gold knees, and that's probably because when they get bigger you'll see they've got golden knees. Is that right? And I've never had tarantulas before, so this is going to be a learning curve for me. But let's have a look at this little baby, see if I can. And the Latin name is Gamma Stola Poltripes. So that's the name. Now just got to learn how to carefully open this without spooking the little baby spider. Now this is what, a few months old?
It's not the best Ted.
Is it a few months old, or what would you say?
Probably about 18 months, something like that. 18
months, unbelievable. Now, just gonna, without spooking her, try to get this open. Could you just help me a second? Yeah, thank you. There we go. Well done. So, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. My first ever spider in my facility, ever. And it's a beautiful golden knee, and I can see a little bit of gold on the knees. Even there's a and how long do they take to become adults?
Probably about 3-4 years, depending, because that's quite a slow growing species, so it would take a little while. But
okay, can you show me how to handle it and how you get it out now? So this is the technique. So you don't touch their abdomen, do you? You touch the back of their leg?
With the little babies you can, because
okay,
they don't really flick. But
okay. So how pretty is that? Isn't that beautiful? Wow. So thank you very much for that birthday present. It's something that I think Jared's going to be excited to see when he comes into the facility on Monday. And I'm sure my grandchildren are going to love this. Absolutely.
But if you look, I actually think it's going to be due for a molt soon, because if you look at the bum, you know I was telling you about it goes bald?
Yes.
So it's starting to already.
Amazing. And how long do they take to molt normally?
Most of the time they molt overnight.
Really?
The adults take longer because obviously they're bigger.
Okay.
But babies normally it don't take long at all.
Okay, perfect. Now they can be kept at room temperature. So obviously you don't want to. Talking of temperatures, we've got heat spikes coming. So in this facility, you can see with our new clock at the back, Adam, you can see the temperature in the facility is reading currently 81 degrees. And that's with all our heating switched off. So would you like to, yeah? There we go. Isn't she lovely? Look. We don't know if it's a boy or girl yet.
No, not yet. I normally just say a she,
Yeah.
it's easier.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely? And then if I want to return her, let me see if I can return her.
Hold the pot up to, or put your hand to the pot.
Hand to the pot, yeah.
And then just...
And then do I just guide her?
You nudge her that way.
Nudge her this way?
Yeah.
From there?
Yeah, it's alright, she won't do nothing.
Okay.
That's it, go on, keep going. Just show her, there you go, like that.
In you go. Oh, that's so...
And then just do that so they go to the bottom, so to make sure you don't get the legs caught in
and
the...
then probably give her a little bit of water. So, Mummy, would you mind just passing me the water over there? Now, in terms of humidity, they don't need high humidity. What would you say the humidity they need, Amy?
Just room temperature, it doesn't matter. You can... Do you want the water can?
Yes, please, yeah.
You got it?
So room temperature, but for the humidity, in terms of how much water you put in their bedding.
Just put in their... Just fill up their water bowl. Normally I overfill the water bowl slightly so that it wets the substrate, but they don't need a lot.
Now I've got my paper boy, Luca. He's now my water boy. He's going to be, I can see you being a member of staff here at New Forest Morphs. I can see that. Saturday job, I think. when your mummy and daddy let you have a Saturday job, you can come and work for me.
What about now?
Yeah.
Start earning the
You want to do it now? Yeah, you get paid in eggs. Eggs and snakes you get paid in. So if we just top up now. So
and then if you overfill it a little bit.
Overfill it a little bit.
Keep going. There you go, like that.
Is that enough? So that'll just be enough. And how often do you have to do that normally?
Just keep an eye on it. So normally, to be fair, spiders are notorious for kicking dirt in their lids.
So in other words, keep chucking it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And if there's no dirt, it's fine. Just watch it as it goes down. It will kind of evaporate anyway.
And then when you change the size of the rub, when do you decide to do that, and when does that need to be done? She'll
probably be good in that for another 2 months, so you wouldn't have to worry about that yet. But you can kind of tell, so they get to half the size of that tub, that's when they need a new one.
Okay, and how often do they molt?
Sometimes twice a year, sometimes 3. It depends how much you feed them.
Okay. And this is the other question, what do we feed? What's that they take?
You can feed them crickets, you can feed them locusts, mealworms.
And how often is that?
I say babies, with those size, probably every 7 days.
Every 7 days, okay. So what I need to do is I'll need to get some food items, and then we can keep them in the facility.
Yeah.
So they last quite a long time?
Yeah, they do. You can put a bit of lettuce, cucumber in with them.
Okay. I mean, the other option we've got is when you come up and see me, you could always bring me a couple of bits. And
well, I buy in bulk, so I can always put some in a tub for you. And
that'd be lovely. And then I can also help you with your rat supply, because when we place an order, I can place extra for yourself. Yeah. So we might better help each other there. Right, let's just put her... Now, does she need to be in a dark space, or
no.
Can she just sit
Yeah.
comfortably anywhere? Yeah. Okay. I'll just put her over here for now, which is wonderful. Now, you said that you also have given me and sent me another birthday present, which I'm so grateful for, which is New Forest Morphs are looking to redesign their logo, because we are going through this relaunching process. Now, Amy, you've been doing art since you've been quite young, haven't you? How old were you when you started your art?
I've always been, or even as a child, I used to draw, but I think since I was in college, I used to kind of try and do it as much as I can. I mean, even now I try and do it, but you know, time doesn't always allow with...
So my ideas was to keep with the green and the black tone, maybe drop out the tree, drop out the white. One of the problems with this current logo is that you can't really read the New Forest Morphs. So I said to Amy, if you could design me something that you can read New Forest Morphs and keep with the two-tone effect. And you've given me a couple of preliminary designs, so I'm just going to share that with our viewers and get their view. This is the one that I liked, Jared liked, which I think's sexy looking snake. It might need a little bit of adapting there, but I like the way the writing and the way that's presented. And did you use particular software for this?
No.
So this is all
just
done
played about with it on my phone.
On your phone?
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing what you can do. And then the other ones you've sent me, which I think again, I'll get people's opinions. That looks pretty good as well. So if you look at that one there, I think. What do you think, Luca, to Mummy's designs?
Yeah.
You like them? Yeah. Are you lucky to have a mummy that's this artistic, or what? So I bet you Luca's going to be artistic, or probably already is.
Yeah, he does look to.
And then this one I think, which is Amy's favourite, and I like the look of this one. It's got the eye on it and the blue. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And Luca, I can see he's nodding his head, he's saying that's lovely. And Daddy likes it as well.
I do.
And there's a third one, which we think if we do a children's channel, this would be excellent for a child's channel. Because I think it's got a really soft, cute looking snake. And I think that's beautiful too. So thank you, Amy, for putting time into this. I mean, this is quite a lot of work involved in doing these.
It's alright.
Thank you very much. And we'll be able to take these and take them, maybe we can adapt them a little bit more and refine them. And then the idea is that we want to make a banner and we want to redo our logo so that going forward we can actually have an even improvement on what we've got. So that's really very much appreciated. And it will go on t-shirts, it will go on hats, it will go on banners, it will be a wonderful thing to have. So we're very appreciative of that. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Now, on top of the artwork, you've brought some other artwork here, haven't you? And I'm really kind of looking forward to this. So
ignore this. This is just other artwork that I've done.
Wow.
Got a thing about moths.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Have you ever thought about getting into being a tattoo artist?
No.
Okay.
I ain't got the time.
Okay.
Right, you ready for your first one?
I'm looking at the quality and I'm thinking, my goodness me, this is quality.
Plus, I have really shaky hands, so
Okay, fair
that
enough.
probably wouldn't work either. So there's your first one.
Wow. That is so beautiful. I mean, just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that lovely? So, we've got a very, very pretty dreamsicle, which I think is absolutely stunning, and it's done in a beautiful flower arrangement, and I think that's really, really beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I can see that's Bowser. Bowser in Bowser in the field. In the field of flowers. Oh, that is so beautiful.
Then if you flick to the next one.
Yeah. And let me ask you how you get your colours. Well, how have you done the drawing, and then how have you coloured these? What?
I've got, like, what are they? Artist pens?
The artist paint style pens.
Paint style pens.
That's really clever. Really clever. So beautiful. And then we've got, my goodness me, what have we got here? So this is really beautiful as well. So
I don't know what morph that would be, but
well, I think there's a little bit of spider in that morph. I think when I look at the actual marks, it's got a spider feel to it. So it's got a mixture of spider, could be a spider cine. Wow.
And the next one's my favourite.
Oh, that is absolutely divine. It is beautiful. Just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that pretty? And that takes, I would say, you're looking at several hours on each one of these, aren't you?
It took a little while.
So do you draw it first and then you bring in your special paints and then come in? And I think that the colour combinations here are absolutely beautiful, harmonised beautifully. And if anyone could produce a snake that pretty, I think it would be worth a fortune. But isn't that lovely? And it's a pastel because it's got green eyes as well. That is really beautiful, and I like, my wife Mandy loves orchids as well, so to put orchids with that is really beautiful. So thank you so much for that.
And that's just something I've done for Adam.
Oh, how about that, ladies and gentlemen?
He likes Dungeons and Dragons, so
yeah, that is fantastic. Really, really, and that's all done freehand, is it?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. You've got quite a talent there. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys design your logo, which is a little ways down the line, but we are here. It's a new breeder series, but
yeah, we'll take those out before we leave. And
please,
you can put them wherever you want to put them.
Well, what we want to do is we've got some other art that been given to us as well, and we should have an art board really, and put up and display our friends' art that they give to us. And I think that's so. Thank you so much, Amy. That's really, really very generous of you. Very kind to do that. Your mummy is very clever, isn't she? So let's now move on to the next thing we're going to do, which is talking about temperatures and talking about heat spikes. How's your week been on your facility?
Very hot.
Hot. So the question is, everyone's getting ready for the heat. You can see we're at 81 degrees ambient at the moment, which is quite high, and it's going to go higher. So how are we going to be able to combat that so our snakes don't overheat? Do you think? What things can we do to keep the temperature lower, to stop the snakes from getting spiked up and getting overheated?
Well, I think some more humidity.
So you could add extra humidity into the rubs, which will actually help to give the snakes, because you'll see the snakes will often do it themselves. They tip their water bowls and they want to cool down, and you see snakes that are overheating will do a lot more weeing, and so you have to do a lot more cleaning. So if your snakes are doing too much weeing, it means that they're too hot. And if they're drinking loads, and you can see their water bowls are going down, your temps may have to be looked at. So these are indicative things to watch for. But you've got the heat gun, so you should use the heat gun. Does Luca use the heat gun?
He does.
Yeah? So I would aim to maybe just adjust your temps downwards if necessary by 1 or 2 degrees if it's up, because the ambient temperature does affect the way the heat mats work. So if you're going to get a very hot temperature in the ambient temperature, you may want to tweak down your hotspot so they get cooler inside. The other thing we do is we switched off the fans, but Jared and I have cleaned both fans, and you said it was a lot fresher in here when you came in. So we've done 2 other things. So these big fans, they can get dusty, so we've cleaned them, and then the airflow is better. So it's basically extracting air from outside, bringing it into here and circulating it, opening the windows, opening the door. If you've got an aircon, people particularly in the US use a lot of air cons. So we've got over here, Adam, let's just go through and show you what our air conditioning unit is like. And this is another thing that we can do. We bought this a few years ago for £200, but what it does, it pumps out cool air, and it also has a filtration system, so it takes out anything in the air that's not healthy. It goes through this filtration system, and basically you can adjust the speeds. I've got it on automatic mode at the moment. You see it's automatic, so it kicks in and kicks out when it wants to. And what it does, it basically throws out some cooler air as well. So that's one way of adjusting for heat spikes, is get an air conditioning unit to pump out cooler air. And the other thing is to keep it ventilated. We leave the door open when we're cleaning for 3 or 4 hours a day. That helps to bring in fresh air. The other thing that Jared and I want to do with an electrician is we're going to actually have, like you'd have in your bathroom, you'd have effectively an extractor fan, wouldn't you? And the extractor fan pulls out the water vapour in the air, and then but in a facility like this you should have 2, one at the front of the door, one toward the back end of the facility. This one will then draw in fresh air in, and that one will pump the stale air out, and then with the fans moving you've then got cooler air coming in so it can't overheat. So this is the next stage that we're going to do to help with the temperature control and the fresh air, and fresh air flow is very important, because if the air is fresh, the snakes will benefit from that. If it's a stale air, they're more likely to get ill, more likely to get stressed, and when you've got 300 or 400 animals that are breathing, pooing and weeing, it's very important to keep a fresh air flow. So all the top breeders have coming in and going out, and that's the next thing that we're going to be installing here to help with the overall facility. So
you missed that, Paul. You just said to me, "Mummy, I really want to work here."
Really?
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Yeah, so as soon as he's old enough, she'll come and help us, for sure. But what I'll do is, instead of cleaning every day, I'll leave some of the tubs clean so that maybe you can come and help me clean. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so let's talk about some other issues on the temps. Now let's talk about feeding. Now, not to worry, if some animals go off food during heat spikes, it's funny because I offered you food when you first came.
Yeah.
We always have like a tea or coffee or a drink for everyone, and we like to entertain and we like to make people feel comfortable. And I offered you some food, and you both said, "I don't fancy it in this heat." Although Luca fancied some sweeties, didn't you?
Nothing stops in the heat.
So Luca was fine, but honestly, when it's hot, we naturally go off food, and we probably lose more weight in the summer because our appetite's not as big. And it's the same with snakes, because as the heats come up, they don't necessarily need as much food because they're going to go through a bit of stress if the heat is too much for them. The last thing they will do is add to their own stress. So you might have an instinct where the snakes turn off food, and that's a natural process. It doesn't mean to say there's a problem and not to worry about it, because Jared and I purposely don't feed as much in the hot weather. We don't breed in the hot weather. Anything that will stress the snakes, we don't do, because sometimes heat spikes can be stressful enough. And I think what that does, it prepares them for later in the year when we get into the breeding. Their stress levels are low because we've purposely not put them through. The eating process is very stressful, so therefore the snake is telling you that I'm just not wanting to eat at the moment, and respect that and not worry about it, particularly if they've got good weight. Jared and I have had to assist feed some of our babies because some of them haven't quite learned how to eat yet. They're striking at us, and we've got the cherry bombs. Now Jared has assist fed 2 of the cherry bombs, and they've had their first meal, but he had to assist feed them. Now what will happen is, by assist feeding a snake, they get the taste of the food. So it's a bit like Luca. When he tastes a marshmallow, he'll want a second marshmallow.
Yeah.
it's like the snakes, when they taste the meat and they realise that you're not intimidating them when you're going in with a pair of tongs, they can see that as intimidation, and they do defensive strikes and they strike at you, not at the food. They're saying, get out of my space.
Yeah.
So we've given them 2 or 3 weeks and they haven't quite learned that we're trying to feed them. So what Jared's done is before they get too small and too weak, we assist feed a couple of these snakes, because we don't feed live. Not allowed to feed live in the UK. It's a regulation and rule. We have to have defrosted snakes, okay? So we feed them a wrap pup. Jared very carefully assist feeds them, doesn't force feed them. There's a difference between force feeding and assist feeding. He assist feeds them, and there's a video out there that we've done. And then the next week they're normally good to go. We've never assist fed a sub-adult, but we had a sub-adult that we took from another breeder that hadn't eaten for several months, and we knew it was risky, but we knew that we could get it on food. Now, if I bring him out and show you how good he is now, we assist fed this beautiful banana clown pied boy, which we've called Bingo, and he's got put some size. We want to breed with him next season. So what we've done, if we have a look at him, he came in at 600, he's now 750, 800, and look how chunky he is now. And do you know why he's chunky? It's because Jared took the time to assist feed him, and then every week he's been taking a multi, and those multis are high protein, small, but very good. So if you've got any picky feeders, I'll give them multis, mainly because picky feeders like smaller prey items, it's less stress for them. So if an animal's presented too big a meal, and they're already stressed out on moving, or they're stressed out because of temperatures, or they're stressed out for overhandling, because overhandling can stress out a snake. And this is where I think a lot of animal lovers want to handle their snakes, but sometimes you have to restrain yourself and say, 3 or 4 days before I'm feeding, I'm not going to touch this snake. Let them settle, because if you handle a snake and then you present to them, they may not necessarily take the food. So it's actually, you know, but every snake's different, and every snake's got a personality. So there's a few things there that we can look at. Yeah. Okay. Good. So Adam, how are we doing for time?
We have 8 minutes left.
8 minutes left. So I think in the other 8 minutes that we've got left, I'm going to bring out a few of our babies that we've had, that I know that you love your cinnamon bananas, and I'm sure, Luca, would you like to see some beautiful babies? So the good news is that the heat mats arrived today, Sunday, and we've got 24 out of 32. The reason why they took 10 days is because they didn't have enough in stock. So we ordered them online, and the lady was very kind enough to put them in yesterday's post, but I had to really phone up and chase her, and she didn't realise the urgency, but we did send an email saying they're urgent. So at the moment, a lot of our babies are still in incubation. They should be set up by now, but it's not damaging to them. As long as you drop your temps down on the incubator a couple of degrees, they can still sit in there for a few days waiting for their rubs. So I'm going to pull out a few of those. Let me just move that to one side if that's okay. And let's bring out the one I think you're going to fall in love with. You're going to fall in love with this one, I tell you. So it will be, let me have a look and see if I can get it right. It's not that one. It's not that one. Not that one, it's going to be the bottom one. There we go, it's the bottom one. So we believe there's an orange dream cinnamon pastel banana in here that you'll go to love. And it might even have spot nose as well. If it's got all of those genes, it's a very powerful animal. So there we go.
I think I can see what one it is already.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So this is the one. Now just look at this hasn't shed out, by the way. Yeah. When it sheds out, you know, you're going to bring your sunglasses in here, I tell you. But there he is. Now, I think we could probably handle him. And let's just have a little look at him. So, Luca, would you like to have a little hold? So there we go. Isn't he beautiful? So there is an orange dream pastel banana cine that could be spot nose as well. I'm not sure about the spot nose, but can you see the brightness of the alien heads? So the orange dream brightens them up even more. Banana's a beautiful gene anyway, as you know, but it just takes it to the next level. You know. And the other ones we've got here are cinnamon ODs, pastel ODs.
Is that one a banana?
And a banana. This one's a banana, but it hasn't got the cinnamon in, but it's got probably everything else but the cinnamon. That one might have spot nose, but well done, Luca, for being so brave. Mummy, want to have a hold? There we go. We can have a good look at him. So this is a what Gav was saying was about the importance of getting lots of incomplete dominance into the genes first, and then put them into recessive. So this is what Jared and I are doing, is we're trying to get multi-combo animals, so that when they're big enough to breed, we can then introduce them to some recessive animals. That means there might be 5 or 6 genes going into a double recessive, which makes it a very powerful animal.
That is really a beautiful snake.
It's lovely, isn't it? But I know you're keen to know what's going to happen to Toast's clutch. Toast has got 10 eggs. Toast is a cinnamon girl that's gone to a banana, super pastel, G-stripe. And we're hoping that half of them will be
So that one's
bananas.
pretty.
Yeah?
I don't know if I can
Yeah?
untangle the danger noodles.
Yeah?
The danger need.
Danger noodles. You can see they're very docile. They're not striking. Some snakes will strike, but these ones, for some reason, they're very docile, which I like. And I think it's because the father, which is Apollo, is a very docile snake. So
That
certain
one's
traits.
pretty, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you like to hold one? Yeah?
Over the table, buddy.
Yep.
Good boy.
Well done. Yeah, so I think Gav was teaching the principle that you can breed traits as well as genetics. And the idea is that if you've got a very friendly snake and you put it into another snake, that the docile location, the location of each snake has different
That one's
personalities.
very pretty as well. So you sure that one hasn't got Orange Dream? Because that...
I think that has, but it hasn't got the it might have Orange Dream, but it's definitely got pastel in there,
Yeah.
and it might even have super pastel.
I mean, I'm
because-
no an expert by any means, but
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the orange and it looks more the pinkish orange.
Yeah, but you can see. Look at this fella here. Look, they want to come out and explore. Yeah, lovely.
They're gonna have a piece of paper.
So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to bring out another clutch. So we've got a few more minutes left, and then on part 2, the next video, we're going to do a egg cut, which would be cut number 21, which is a clutch that I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got. It's an albino clutch. It's a Pikachu clutch.
Yay.
Every time Luca comes, he gets a Pikachu clutch. Something's going on here, but we're going to do that later.
When's
on part 2.
Toasty's clutch ready?
Probably about another 30 days. And then, because I think in there should be another cinnamon banana, which I think one of them will have your name on it as well.
Well, I have fallen in love with the Django, so...
Okay. But the other thing is, I need to know when your birthday is so that I can...
1st of August.
1st of... Did everyone get that? Which means I think hopefully... I'll check when Toast is ready. Oh.
You can't make it up, I'm telling you.
The other thing I was going to say to you is that you may want to start building a little hatchling rack, you know, because...
Might have to at this rate.
You know, if you're going to take birthday gifts from me as well, you know.
Oh, that cold.
So
No, it's warm.
yeah, it's quite warm. Do you want to? We've got time to just show you some of the other clutches. So this is the one where we hit some beautiful pieds. So clutch 16 is actually the you know the Exantic,
Yeah.
and you actually had a
I
friend.
thought that was a snake, it's not. I think that's a shed or a...
It's a shed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a shed. So Amy, tell us about your experience this week. You had a friend of a friend who had 2 snakes that needed rescuing.
Yeah.
And out of the goodness of your heart, you were even contemplating taking them under your belt. You phoned me up and we discussed it, and we said that's a good thing to do, but there are some dangers in doing that because you don't know where they're coming from. If they come into your collection, they could actually affect your collection. So you recommended to speak to a snake rescue centre. And I think if you're going to rescue a snake, I think you need to do it in a separate facility to your main facility, just in case it does come with issues. And the last thing you want to do is bring any illnesses into your collection. So I think that quite a few breeders do like to rescue snakes, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but what I'm saying is if you do it, you need to make sure you have a separate room that you can take on board these snakes that need rescuing, and then when they're healthy and they've gone through a quarantine process, you could then introduce them into your collection. So these are, I believe, Jared's was amazed by this. These are pastel pieds that are 100% het for Exantic VPI, and you can see the influence of the Exantic. And I think I'm going to give one to Luca as well. You want to hold that one?
Danger noodles.
So we've got 3 of us holding the 3 pieds. These are very valuable to us because pastel Exantics, and this is what reminded me of your rescue snake. You had a pastel Exantic that looked pretty, but it looked quite old as well.
Yeah, you did say it should look quite old.
So, you know, you could end up taking on board a very old snake that you can't really breed, but obviously it'd have to be paired if you did that. So these are beautiful snakes. So I know we've only got 20 seconds, so should we say goodbye until part 2? So we wave to Adam. So then we'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Part 2 will be coming soon, and you'll be able to see Clutch 21 being cut, and that will be fantastic. Thank you, Adam, for being our photographer.
No worries.
Thank you.